Expansion.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Expansion Podcast. Today, it is my absolute pleasure to have live from the United States via Zoom, Ferocious, George Kambosos. George, welcome, man. How you feeling, my brother?
It's a pleasure, man. We've been trying to tear it up for a couple of weeks now, and
Yeah, man.
obviously we're here now, and looking forward to having a good chat and getting everyone that's going to listen to the podcast and watch some insights of what's going on.
What a time! What a time for you, man! What a time for George Kambosos to be alive. For those who've been under a rock for the past few months and years, the #1 lightweight boxer in the world, about to achieve a feat which has never been achieved by an Australian boxer. He's going to be bringing all 4 belts home, the world title on June 19, I believe it is. June 19, my brother.
June 19th here in the US, June 20th, Sunday.
June 20th, yep.
Back home for all the friends and family and all the Aussies.
Yeah, man.
Going to be tuning in.
Yeah, it's a huge fight. I mean, Teofimo Lopez coming back from the win over Lomachenko, which obviously was historic in its own sense. An Australian boxer to be on that world stage in the United States, live around the world with Triller, multi-million-dollar purse. So much build-up, hype, anticipation. We were watching the pre-fight conference the other day, and I saw fucking fire in your eyes, man. I saw fire in your eyes, George.
I'm hungry, man. There is so much on the line. Not only history, but my legacy is on the line.
Yes, man.
To bring all these belts back.
Yes, man.
Fighter ever from Australia has ever done this.
Yes.
To bring every single belt in boxing.
Yes.
I've become boxing.
Yes.
Boxing will be. I've done everything after this fight.
Yes.
One hit. So it's things happen for a reason.
Yes, man.
And you have a lot of ups and downs throughout your career, but you stay focused. You stay hungry. You stay disciplined to your craft, and good things happen, man. And I've been blessed to get this opportunity to fight for every single belt on the line. And like I said, this is my destiny. I'm going to win this fight.
Well,
a fantastic camp here, and I can't wait.
Man, and I want to talk a bit more about that, but you talk about highs and lows, man, but your boxing career, 19-0, undefeated, 10 knockouts. I mean, you can't really speak of many lows, professionally. I mean, obviously, personally, we all go through what we go through, but 19-0, perfect clean record. You fought against some serious fighters. You came up under Manny Pacquiao, as his sparring partner. I mean, you've had an amazing career, man. Congratulations on everything that you've achieved. But tell us how you're feeling and where you're at right now as a boxer. The spotlight is on you, brother. This is your time now. Tell us about how it is that you're feeling and the psychology and the mentality and the focus and everything that you're going through right now, please.
Yeah, look, definitely I've had a lot of highs in my career. And look, when I mean lows, I mean things where, even though I'm undefeated, certain fights fall through, certain, couldn't get certain opponents when I was back in Australia, coming up, fighting for literally nothing to get an opportunity to open up a door. They're the lows. They're the kind of things that, unfortunately, in the fight game, they make a lot of fighters not want to do this anymore because they can't see that the end of the tunnel. They can't see the top of the mountain. But I stayed focused. And exactly like I am right now. When we talk about that killer zone, that mental state I'm in right now.
Yeah,
I'm 4 weeks out from the biggest fight of my life, the biggest fight for any Australian fighter. Ready to make history. And I'm in kill mode. I'm training unbelievable. Best camp I've ever had in my life. I've been out here, in Miami for the last 8 weeks.
Yeah,
I was preparing very hard in Australia, but as soon as I got to the US, and everything went up. And I got a great team here. My coaches here in America, Javier Santino, obviously. I brought my Australian coach, Mick Aqua. I got my father here, Jim Kambosos. We've got a very good team. I brought in good sparring partners. I brought in big, solid guys, welterweights.
Yeah.
Both guys are undefeated. So, I'm really leaving no stone unturned. I'm spending a lot of money on my camp, to make sure that is perfection. And I'm prepared to do whatever I have to do. And I have been doing whatever I have to do to get through this fight and win this fight. I've been putting my body through hell. Not, mentally, I'm super strong right now. Mentally, nothing's going to break my focus. I got one goal and one goal only.
Yeah.
But physically, we've been trying to break me. I've been trying to break myself, pushing through so many barriers. And I'm not going to break myself. And whatever the team and the coaches and the sparring partners, put towards me, I won't be broken. And come June 19th, when I fight Lopez, he's going to try to break me, but I'm already unbreakable, and I'll be looking forward to breaking him.
Yeah, man. And with all of that in the background, it's even more reasons for us to be thankful here at the show for you to take the time to be with us, man, because it's all about that focus. And speaking of saying thank you, man, we want to acknowledge Crash Claim, man, our foundation sponsors, Crash Claim, Nick Harriganis and the team. Thank you for the support, meeting new friends by accident. And Q Corp Construction, man, also one of our foundation sponsors. George, speaking of the camp, I mean, it'll be nice for us in the non-boxing world to get an idea of what that is like. You've got a support team. Tell us a bit about that. There's a lot of logistics involved, even like, your diet and everything that's going into becoming this machine to become a world champion. Give us an idea of what the daily routine is like for George Kambosos heading into a world title fight. And also the people around you, the team around you, maybe some of the characters involved, for the non-boxing people out there, man, that are tuning in.
Look, it's extreme. We are pushing, like I said, we are pushing everything to the limits.
Sure.
To prepare for a 12-round undisputed title fight against, obviously, the guy who was 2020 Fighter of the Year. He was the guy that's just cleaned up everything.
Yeah.
You got to prepare, and I'm preparing extremely well. We are training in the morning, our strength conditioning, our road work, and then obviously in the afternoon again, we're doing our sparring, we're doing our boxing, our pad work, and we're just pushing it. We're pushing to the barriers. We're training 2 to 3 times a day. We're doing fantastic recovery as well. Probably the best camp I've ever had with recovery. Before I've kind of slacked off on my recovery, but we've really pushed that side of things as well. So I'm going into every session feeling unbelievable, which means I can work harder, get even better, quicker. But no stone unturned for this fight. Everything's on the line, and that's why I brought out obviously my guys from Australia, my father, who's been with me from day one. Not only he looks after everything for me, advises everything for me in Australia, but also looks after my promotional company with a few fighters that we have. And he brings a good laugh to the team. He's the kind of guy that likes to talk and, likes to try to, as focused as we are, try to bring a little bit more laughter into the camp. So
of course,
he's good to be around, man.
Yeah.
And obviously I brought Mick Ackaway, who's a very experienced campaigner, to be assistant and to be obviously a part of this camp. He's been training me in Australia the last couple fights, and he's a great trainer, great man, with a lot of wealth of knowledge. And my American coach, my lead trainer, Javier Centeno, this is our, I think, 4th or 5th fight together. We gel so great. The thing with our team, from Javier to Mick to my cut man to my father to my manager Peter Khan, who I believe is the best manager in the world. He's the guy that made this still happen. He's the guy that set it all up. And it's funny where if you go back to the press conference and Lopez goes, "You should be thanking me." That's why I turned around and said, "Hey, you should be thanking us because we sorted all this out. We got this fight for him. We got him the millions of dollars." So.
Yeah, ultimately you had to earn that the hard way, because for some time there it looked like he was going to run away from the fight, and then obviously you had to force that through beating Lee Shelby and earning your shot at the title. And then which conference was it that forced him to fight? Because he didn't want to fight you, right?
Well, look, because he has all the belts. When I became the IBF mandatory to Lee Selby, when I beat him in November 1st,
sure.
Back in Australia.
We watched that fight in Australia, man. Love you, bro. It was amazing.
It was a fantastic victory to go to beat Selby in his hometown.
At home, that's
in his
right,
backyard.
Man. That's right.
A guy that, very experienced guy.
World champ himself.
6 times.
That's
former
right.
champion himself,
Yeah.
It was a big victory. And the way I wanted that fight was he's a superior boxer. And I wanted to showcase my boxing skills. I believe I could have knocked him out real quick if I wanted to, but I wanted to showcase my boxing skills.
Man, you were dancing, man. You were dancing, bro.
I was having fun.
Man.
So once I won that fight, I was number one in the world in the IBF, number one in the WBA, but I was a mandatory in the IBF. So Lopez had a very simple option. Either fight me and defend all your belts, or vacate the IBF world title, and I'll fight, obviously, the next guy in line who was underneath myself. Sure. Being a young guy, being a young kid, being obviously just won all the belts, he didn't want to do that. He kind of didn't want to fight me, but also he didn't want to lose his belt. So we came to a deal, and obviously things went the way they went, and we went to a purse bid, and Triller came in at $6 million US, or a little bit over that. And look, it's fantastic, but he's always been adamant about the money. He's always been, look, you want to fight me, I'm worth 10 million, 5 million, obviously. So he's always had that focus of the money. Again, yesterday he puts up something about, haters, and they can say this and that, but I'm getting paid. Well, my vision and my focus has never been about the money. Sure. If it was about the money, I would have, quit a long time ago. Yeah. This is a very cruel sport, and it sucks a lot of fighters in before they become anything. So
yeah,
my focus has always been about getting these belts, and
the legacy,
we're
man.
4 weeks out.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, 4 weeks out, and all about you and Teofimo, and even myself, being the non-boxing connoisseur that I am. Usually, if I come across a fight, I usually go for the Latin guy. Being Latino myself. Big exception this time, my brother. And and with Teofimo, I was looking. I had a quick look before the show. Sportsbet has you at $6.50, and I think they're paying $1.08.
Is that what it's gone up to? Okay, so it's been going up and down. So it's great. I never really look into the odds too much.
No, more for the people at home. More for the people at home, and then another quick look. There's a lot of talk about your speed going into the fight being a clear advantage, and then we hear a lot about Teofimo's striking power, and then there's a mixed bag of experts saying they're expecting a knockout, they're expecting a great fight. People's opinions are like assholes, everybody's got one. I'm sure you'd agree.
The way you look at it is, everyone's always got an opinion, and most of the people that have an opinion, 99.9999% of them have never put on a pair of gloves or fought at a magnitude of a fight like this, an undisputed title at a major league stadium, in front of 30,000 people, pay-per-view worldwide. So, two of the best young guys in the world in the lower division, myself and Lopez, want to fight each other. Obviously, we're here now. The deal's done, and we're fighting. Yeah, my friend. Yeah, and I love it, man.
Yeah, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be amazing to watch. I think, but both of you at your prime. And I say that not knowing what the next few years are going to be for yourself, you could well and truly beat this guy up and go on to even reach higher peaks. And God willing, that's the way it will be. Because man, we would very much love for you to bring all these belts home. But I think a lot of the experts are saying what they're saying because Teofimo's come back off beating Lomachenko, which many consider pound
100%. There's a false sense. Yeah, there's a false sense from not only from the fans, but a false sense from himself and his team because of the Lomachenko fight. But again, everyone saw the Lomachenko fight, and I said it to him in his face. I said it to him at the press conference. Lomachenko had one shoulder, didn't throw a punch in 6 rounds, started to turn the heat up. Yes. And started to put him.
Yeah, we saw that too, man. Very true.
Get rid of him.
Got going very late.
Kettle fish. I got a different hunger, different kettle fish. Yeah. I'm from the get-go. I'm throwing a lot of punches, but my speed, my power, the way I move, my hunger and my willpower to win this fight is second to none. This is not Lomachenko. Obviously, Lomachenko is a great fighter, very skillful fighter. But this is a different kettle of fish. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
I think you're always going to be coming from Australia, fighting an American boxer, or anyone from that region in general. I think you're always going to have underdog status. But how's that sitting with you, man? The whole underdog thing, and how the press has been treating you.
I love it. I love being the underdog. I've been the underdog many times in my career. My last two fights against obviously Mickey Bailey, Selby, you know, they were both in their backyards. I was, you know, underdog for them fights too. So I'm perfectly fine in the underdog status. You know, I'm cool in my doghouse. That's my way of looking at it.
My man.
You know, the game, the rapper said it, and you'll love this. You know, he said it the way perfectly. He goes, "I'm an underdog. I'm cool in my doghouse.
Yeah.
You know, come and test me." And that's what we're gonna do. Let them have that, you know, that favorite. Let all that pressure build on them.
George, give us an insight into being Manny Pacquiao's sparring partner. I mean, Manny, obviously, you know, a legend in his own right. You know, will go down as, you know, one of the greats. Tell us a bit about what that was like, because I'm sure a lot of your boxing wisdom and skill and experience came out of those camps training with Manny. Give us an insight into what that was like, brother.
The guy's a legend. He actually just announced that he's going to fight Errol Spence.
Yes.
Who is pound for pound one of the top dogs.
Indeed.
Undefeated, young guy, you know, guy that he's very fit in the welterweight division. Pacquiao, 42 years of age. You know, he's going to fight him and, you know, looking to shock the world as well. And he's going to be a huge underdog as well in that fight. But, you know, if anyone can do it in a fight with Spence, it's Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
But, you know, a great guy. Learn a lot off him. 3 world title campaigns with him. You know, whatever he did, I was doing 250 rounds of sparring with the man. And, you know, has taken me to that, straight away took me to that level, knowing that I can be in there with anybody. So, you know, when people say about Lopez, oh, he's too experienced, he's too this, he's too that. You know, he's nothing like Pacquiao. He couldn't even tie Pacquiao's shoes. You know, so I've got no concerns of being in the ring with Lopez.
Yeah.
Manny is a legend. And I know they're in my corner. I know they're supporting me, his whole team. I know a lot of the Filipinos, if not all of them, are backing me and supporting because I have helped one of their own. And obviously they've always supported me after that. So, you know, it's great, man. I've got a lot of support, you know, not only from, you know, from a legend, Manny Pacquiao, but a lot of people are supporting me in this fight.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where a lot of these so-called experts don't factor in. You know, I mean, we obviously look at people's records and who you fought, but then, you know, you must put some big value on the fact that, you know, all that time spent with a legend like Pacquiao, you know, sort of, you know, face to face in the ring, all those rounds, as you say. So I'm sure that's a huge part of that momentum that you're taking into this fight, my brother. And
it is, man. It's that ace up my sleeve. You know, things that I've done with him. No one's even seen it. I haven't even brought him to the ring. I haven't needed to bring it out.
Yeah.
You know, when you know, in the army, say you're in the army and you're going to battle, and you know you're going to destroy, you know, whoever. You only have to bring certain things out to do the business. So there's a lot of artillery that I've got behind me that no one hasn't seen yet. Only small things I've let out, inspiring, and certain people have got to see certain things I do. In this fight, you know, I'm going to have to bring out most likely a lot of them in this fight, but I'm prepared. You know, we are fully prepared for victory, and like I've been saying, kill or be killed, and this is war, man. I'm going to war with this guy.
Yeah,
and he's like I've been saying it from months ago.
Yeah,
and excuse my French, but I've been saying fuck peace. You know, this is war. We are fighting.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
for what he's got, I'm coming to get.
Spoken like a true Spartan. Never retreat, never surrender.
That's what I am, man. That's the blood. That's where my family's from, and you know, I take that with me. You know, with everything I have. You know, we are warriors, and at the end of the day, you know, with our shield or on our shield.
Yeah, let's talk a bit about that, man, because you know you speak about your Spartan ancestry. And I feel like that's a big part of you and your warrior spirit. Tell us a bit about that, man. I mean, you know, for a lot of people watching us here and overseas, I mean, Australia, we're all Australians, but there's a lot of people from all different parts of the world, myself, South American, yourself from Greek Spartan ancestry. Tell us how important that is for you and how much of that is a part of you and also you as a boxer.
Very important. You know, I'm very proud of you know, where I've been born in Australia and being an Aussie, but I'm very proud of my heritage as well. And, my bloodlines. It's extremely important. I feel like every time I fight, I got my flags with me. I got two whole countries behind me. When you got two whole nations behind you, you can't be beaten. You got all of them together with you. So, it's very important. I take it, to heart with me. It's on my sleeve.
Yeah.
It's in my heart. And I go to battle like our nations do. The Greeks, warriors, and obviously the Aussies are warriors too. So, we come to fight, and when you mix it together, and you make, George Ferocious Kambosos Jr., you got a hell of a fighter, you got a hell of a fighting machine.
Yeah. And speaking of Greece, you've done something which I think is quite remarkable, and I wonder what the experience was like, because you fought in Greece, right?
I did. I fought in Greece in 2019 in Athens.
Yeah.
It was awesome, man. We had a packed out stadium there, and I promised them that I will bring a world title fight back to them. So we're here now. We're here to get all the belts. We're going to get all the belts. We'll come back to Australia. We'll do a big fight in Australia in a stadium, and then we'll go to Greece and we'll do a big fight at the Olympic Stadium there in front of 80,000 people. So everything is in my hands now. This is my destiny. This fight,
sir.
Creates all of them dreams and makes them true. But I've always been a kind of person that I envision it. I see it before it happens. And the same with all this road that I've had and these big victories I've had and fought these guys in their backyards. I envisioned it before it happened. And again, when I went to Marlins Park, Lone Depot Stadium, obviously where the fight's going to be.
Yes.
I had all access to check it out. I went out there. I sat.
Yep.
I just stood on the middle of the field and I just looked around.
Yeah.
And I just envisioned the crowd, the belts, the victory, and what it means not only for myself, for my family, for my team, but for both my nations, for everyone, for all the support in the world that I have.
That's incredible, George.
This is not an easy journey. It's a hard journey. It's been a long journey. This is literally my 8th week here in Miami. I've been away from my kids, my two kids, for 8 weeks. My wife is pregnant, so as well with our third. So thank you, man. This is not an easy task. Everyone sees the end of the road. They see the mountain. They see the millions of dollars that we get paid, but the sacrifice to put our lives on the line and chase a dream that sometimes many can't see but yourself. It's it's a hard road, but we're nearly there. We're there, and like I've envisioned having all the belts. 4 weeks, we make it into a reality.
Yeah, you must have some serious powers of manifestation there, George. And from afar, I've noticed the killer intent in the eyes and in your swagger. And the couple of times that we've met, obviously, I got to meet a very friendly, a very nice guy. But when the switch is on, it's fucking scary. Beautiful to watch as a fight fan, but it would be scary to be on the other side of that ring. And it's a big warning sign to Teofimo and anyone else that's going to stand in front of you in your career.
Definitely, man. It's like I said, this is war, and as we the clock is ticking and we're getting closer and closer. My tunnel vision gets even smaller, and really there's nothing that you can't get anything out of me, and I go cold blooded.
Yeah.
There's really nothing. By the time the fight week comes, I'm in real kill mode. I'll be prepared to fight, right then and there.
Yeah.
If it switches on and we're ready to go right then and there. By the time the fight comes and I walk out into that stadium, knowing the millions of people, supporting me and watching this fight and everything on the line, like I say, I'm cold blooded and I'm coming in for one thing, and that's blood, and that's his blood.
George, we've been wondering here in the studio, us non-boxers, we get insanely G'd up by boxing movies, like Creed and all these things.
Yeah.
And ever since the Rocky days, you got the scene where he's running up the stairs and whatever. What's your favorite movie, and what's it like for a boxer to watch a boxing movie? Because if it makes me want to jump in a ring and punch someone out, I'm pretty sure it must make you pretty pumped up to watch one of these movies, man. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it does, man. I love the boxing movies.
Yeah.
The Rockies. You can't go past the Rockies. I still listen to their music. I still pump the music in the gym.
Yeah.
We're pumping it today.
Yeah.
The music like No Easy Way Out and obviously
Eye of the Tiger.
Hearts on Fire, all the Tiger, all them songs, man. They're hell of a film that they've done with the Rocky series.
Sure.
And you get motivation from that, even though it's a movie. It gives you motivation. And,
so Rocky would be the favorite boxing movie.
I think so, Rocky, but I also like Raging Bull, the way it was done. Raging Bull about Jack LaMotta. It's a very good movie, the way they portrayed it and the way they had it in black and white, and it was fantastic. Look, Creed, Southpaw, they're all good movies, but
indeed,
you can't go past Rocky.
Yeah, man,
especially Rocky 3 and Rocky 4. When he fights Clubber Lang and
sure.
We've been having a good laugh in the gym and I feel it too, that the start of Rocky 3, you got Rocky, he's on top of the world, the American, he's enjoying training camp, he's having fun, he's got everyone there, and then you got Clubber Lang train like a madman, just tunnel vision, and that's how we see this fight. I'm Clubber Lang right now.
Yes, brother.
I'm in the trenches while this kid's enjoying the limelight, he's having fun. He's every video is him dancing, him having fun, he's got people there. Yeah. And every time he puts up a video, he's looking the other way. He's trying to see where the cameras are. This is how it is. I feel like this is from Rocky 3. The start of the movie where Clubber Lang comes out and abolishes Rocky. And, come June 19th, I'll be Clubber Lang because I'm in that prep right now.
Yeah, God willing, all them belts are coming down south, man, and then that'll be another story to follow after that. Brother, and speaking of a story, your story, and this is one of the cool things about the show, we like to encourage people and motivate people. You picked up boxing and sport because initially it was rugby league too, right?
Yes.
You picked up sport because you were quite overweight as a kid, and as the story goes, you were getting picked on and bullied, and sport was a way out, and sport was also a way to get yourself fit. For all those people perhaps needing some encouragement or maybe going through something similar, all those young kids out there, all the Kambosos fans, tell us a bit about that journey, man, and some words of wisdom from that time as a young man.
Yeah, look, you're 100% correct. I fell into boxing by chance, by fluke, to benefit me playing rugby league. I was playing rugby league from literally 6 years of age. And, I was always working hard in the rugby league. But as the off season came, I started putting on a lot of weight. Being a great kid, you go to your grandma's house, grandfather's house,
the lamb,
eating a lot of food, and you start to stack on the weight because you're not doing as much, in the off season. And come about 9-10 years of age, I was that overweight kid that was still playing good footy, but I wasn't cutting it, couldn't get to that next level. But the one thing, I'd never cheat myself. I'd always make sure we had training sessions with the team. I would always, do the laps correctly. I would never cut the corners. I'd always push and put 110%. Just the weight, was affecting me. And with that weight, came bullying at school where, people would pick on you about that. And, you would always come last in whatever you did. But I fell into boxing, obviously, there was a, from my father, he said, look, do you want to do nippers? Do you want to get fit? Because we live down south. Do you want to obviously get fit and, lose a bit of weight in the off season? How about we do beach nippers? I said, no chance. That's not for me. At 11 years of age. Because what about boxing? And we talk about the Rocky films. He goes, you like the movie Rocky? How about a bit of boxing? And we always used to watch the movies and throw on the, the gloves that we had and muck around. Me and my father back, all them years ago. And I said, yeah, let's try it out. So we went down to the Rocked Out PCYC. And I fell in love with the sport, man. As soon as I went up them stairs, the gym over there, it could push a kid away. Just the smell of the gym, the old school smell, where you can smell the leather and the blood and
I know that
smell
sweat, actually,
and
bro.
the tears. It's a hell of a smell. And I went up there, and obviously my father. We spoke to the coach, my original coach out there, and he goes, "Look, I'm going to leave you with the coach. You do your thing. I'll come back and see how it goes." My dad obviously went downstairs, and in his head he said, "He's not going to cut it. No chance. This is too tough. This is a whole different sport compared to rugby league."
Yeah.
But I went downstairs after the session. I was sweating my ass off, and I said, "All right, next session is on Wednesday." So I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the sport, and you fast track a year later, I lost 14 to 15 kilos. I was absolutely killing it in rugby league. I was preparing to have my first amateur fight. I had my first amateur fight. I won the tournament. Then we started fighting regularly, winning, many tournaments. The rugby league got better, where I got picked in the Sharks development representative team. And
And
it
the
came
Ricky
to the
Stewart,
point
right?
where my father, yes, and then it came to the point where my father was saying it leading up to, he could see it coming because you're going to meet the crossroads. And I didn't understand at that stage. What's the crossroads? What's the crossroads? He goes, you'll see the crossroads. You'll see it. And it came to a point where I fought on a Friday night, and then I had to wake up early at 9 a.m. for a footy game, a 9 a.m. footy game. And my body was wrecked, at like 13, 14 years of age. My body was destroyed trying to do two back-to-back things, two intense sports, boxing and rugby league. You're getting battered around. And I remember being in the car and I go, you know what, Dad, I know what the crossroads is. I go, it's this. So I literally, I pushed with it a little bit more. I made the Sharks development squad, and the first time we went and met Ricky Stewart, we sat down as the Sharks team. This is something I wanted for so long in my life. I wanted to make the development squad, and literally the day I made it was the day I made my decision. I want to be a fighter. So we went back home, and my father could see I was upset. I wasn't happy, and he goes, "What's wrong? You made the Sharks development squad. It's something you've wanted your whole life." Okay, yeah, I want to be a fighter. My heart's not in this. I want to be a fighter. So he gave me 2 days over the weekend, and he goes, "Look, I'll let you make a decision. See what you want to do. Come Monday, I'm going to come back after work, and you tell me what you want to do." And literally, he came back. I gave him the training shirts for the Sharks squad, and I had my boxing bag and my boxing gloves ready to go. And I said, "Let's go to boxing." And the rest is history, man. I put my whole heart and soul into boxing, and obviously I was fighting, making the teams, the state teams, the national teams, started fighting all over the world as an amateur. And before you know it, I was 100 amateur fights deep, and then made my journey to the professional ranks. But
and 85.
It's been a long journey.
85 amateur wins.
Yeah.
Incredible record. How many years were you an amateur fighter, George?
I was an amateur from literally 6 to 7 years, yeah. And there was times where, we were fighting 30 times a year, from back-to-back tournaments. I could tell you that I'd go from Armenia Junior World Championships, come back home for 2 weeks, go to school, literally, and then I have to pack my bags. I'm going back to Ukraine. And the teacher's saying, "What are you doing? This is year 10 and 14 years of your life." I said, "Man, I'm going to be a fighter." And it's funny, some of them teachers said, "There's no money in boxing. There's no future in boxing."
Yeah.
It's funny now when they look back, and there's definitely money in boxing.
Well, I mean, in their defense, particularly down in Australia, it's not the most popular sport, at least, and it's not the easiest path to travel. Yeah.
It's a hard path, and again, it's not the most popular sport in Australia.
No.
It is growing though. You got to look at social media.
Yes.
I've got about 163,000 followers on just my Instagram alone. And
yeah, that's huge.
You look at footy players, legendary footy players that are on TV every single week, and they don't have nowhere near that.
Yeah.
It is growing. The combat sport is growing, and I'm here to make history, obviously, in 4 weeks and grow to that next level.
That's it, brother. That's it. You're the main ambassador for that right now, my brother, and hopefully for many, many, many more years to come. And believe me, a lot of us will be watching. Very excited to be watching that fight in a couple of weeks' time. George, let's talk about family, brother, because obviously that's a huge thing for you. You're building your own little Spartan army there, by the sounds of things. How important is family, man? And tell us, you must be missing them a lot through camp.
Look, family is the most important thing. That's my priority. If you made me life and death matter, and I had to go either my family or obviously my boxing career or this fight right now, I said I'm going to my kids. If it was a life and death matter, that's how much they meant to me. But that motivation of what I'm doing at the moment, being away from them, to become champion of the world, and being away from my kids, that's motivation. That's why I'm working so hard. That's why I'm kill or be killed right now, to give them everything to set them up to come home so that my kids look at me and say, Dad, that's world champion, Dad. And they might not understand it now. They do understand boxing, but they don't understand the aspect of what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah.
But in a couple of years, they will understand it. And I say, look, Dad was a world champion. Dad's a world champion right now, whatever the future holds. But, you know, like I said, I'm leaving no stone unturned for my family, for my kids. And I've got a very good support team. You know, my wife, you know, she's supported me so many years.
Yeah.
We're pushing hard. We're going to get her over here. And
you are.
You know, we're going to get her over here. Yeah, she wants to be here. And obviously, you know, we're pushing to get her here, and she will be here. Just to have her, even though she's pregnant, to have her supporting me, that just gives me even more drive, gives me even more hunger.
Yeah. The focus.
You know, this is been a long journey, hard journey, and we're here now.
Yeah.
And my family's played a big role, you know, in every single step of the way.
And George, and obviously in the background, very much in the background or in the foreground is obviously COVID. You know, we're going through this global so-called pandemic, and that's affecting even like your travel, and I'm sure your wife's travel would be a lot easier if COVID wasn't around. I'm sure it would be just a matter of buying the ticket and off she goes. But
yeah, look, it's tough. It's tough, man, because the doctors, she's pregnant. The doctors have said, look, we advise you not to go.
Yeah.
You know, obviously COVID is very bad here.
Yeah.
We advise you not to go, but she's been here from the start. She's been here watching me from the Croatian club when there's, you know, 500 people there, you know, fighting for a state title, an Australian title. You know, so she goes, I'm not missing this for the world. I'm going to be there. And it's a crazy world we live in at the moment.
It is.
There are so many fans and supporters in Australia and all over the world that would love to come to this fight. Unfortunately,
I'm
they
sure.
can't get out of the country. Getting the exemption to the other countries is so hard at the moment. And
even the change of the date, right, George? Because initially we were supposed to do June 6th, no?
Yes. Yeah, look, the date was changed. June 5th was going to be 25% capacity.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, it would have been June 6th in Australia. Come midnight, June 6th, it goes to 100% capacity. And that was literally done when the fight was already announced. And obviously that came after. So Triller they're a business. Of
course.
Obviously they're promoting the fight, but they got so many different businesses and involved in one whole, obviously, Triller outfit. And as a smart business, you know, man will do. They'd be pushing that back for 2 weeks to be able to get an extra 75% in the stadium.
Yeah.
And the way I looked at it when I was told, and obviously we were preparing for a certain date.
Sure.
And I said, look, it is what it is. You know, this is the destiny, and I've waited my whole life, you know, to become the champion of the world. You know, 2 weeks is not going to kill me more than anything. It gives me another 2 weeks to even be more prepared, even if I'm not as prepared. Like, I'm super prepared right now, but it just gives me a little bit more time.
Sure.
You know, it is what it is. What do you do?
Yeah, and I mean, the preparation was one question. How would that have affected you? But it seems like it's not being a major issue. But walking out onto a stadium which you know, full of Teofimo fans, you know, in his backyard, even though he's not from Florida, he's originally from New York, I believe.
Actually, no, he's that's a funny story as well on that one. He says he's from Brooklyn, but really he's from here. He's from Florida, from Davie, literally where we train. He was schooled here. He trained. He fought in all the tournaments here.
Okay.
But he turned his back on his people here, and a lot of the people here that are recognizing me saying, "No, we're with you because this little boy turned his back on us. He doesn't represent us. He went to represent Brooklyn." But then again, he's not even in training in New York or Brooklyn. He's training in Las Vegas. So really, who's he representing? He doesn't have a home.
Interesting that. Yeah, I mean, I think there's an appeal about New York, and you know, undeniably so. But it's very strange to hear that. And if anything, that's not cool, man. I don't think anyone should. Do that. That's
look, you always represent. You represent where you're from. You know, I represent obviously Sydney. I'm from Sydney. I represent Sydney.
That's it.
When they say Kambosos from Sydney, Australia, I represent my heritage.
Yes.
And I've been in Miami for the last 5 camps. I know Miami inside out. I got a lot of fans in here. I got a lot of support here. So, he's coming from Vegas. Yeah, he might have used to be here. He might say he's from Brooklyn, but he's in Vegas at the moment. That's where he lives. That's where he stays. So he's coming to my backyard. I feel that this is my backyard.
Man.
And that's where my mentality is right now.
What a beautiful thing, man.
I went and saw the stadium. I saw the stadium, first before him. So the way we say it is, it's a fugazi. He's a fugazi. Exactly like Donnie Brasco. Said it in the movie. It's a fugazi, and that's what he is. The kid's trying to be something he's not, and a lot of people that are close to him that I know as well, saying he's not himself. He's not been himself. He pretends he's from different places, and he's lost. At 23 years of age, everything came too fast for him. We saw it at the press conference. We saw the way he acted. He's never had this before in his life where someone has stood up to him, and we go back to the bullying days. To where I was bullied. Well, this kid has been walking around with all these other opponents he fought, and even Lomachenko, trying to bully him. I know what the bully's like. And when you stand up to the bully and you put it back on him, like I did at the press conference, like I will at the fight, the bully doesn't like it. And all of a sudden they go into a shell. And that's exactly, and everything's written. Everything is written, and everything I've had in my life, has come out into, obviously, my manhood now where, you take all the things you had as a child and, put them into play.
I saw a bit of a mind dominance at the press conference. Obviously, these things are perhaps a lot more superficial than what actually goes on in the ring. I mean, ultimately, everything's decided in the ring. There's luck involved. There's all these other factors. But I saw you, your stance, your demeanor, everything was above him. And that's why I've been saying to a lot of the people that I speak to, which know a lot more about boxing than I do, but I've still been saying to them, don't discount George Kambosos, man. I think this guy's coming for it. I feel your hunger. I feel your drive. I feel your focus. And I think you're going to be shocking the world, man, in a couple of weeks' time, George.
110%. We will be shocking the world.
Yeah.
I've come too far to let it slip. I worked too hard.
Yeah.
I've sacrificed too much, dedicated my life, with everything I got.
Yeah.
To get to this point. And, everything happens for a reason. The way things have aligned, the stars have aligned, and this is it. This is that one more fight, and we make history, man.
Yeah.
This is
definitely,
legacy,
brother.
I'll go down as the greatest fighter ever in Australia, obviously the greatest fighter in Greece, and everything I worked hard for would have been achieved, and then we look at what's next. But for now, we're going to get them belts.
George, on that note, man, thank you so much for joining us today, man. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor. Again, particularly since your time and your energy and your focus right now is all on this fight, for you to take the time to join us is, again, testament to the kind of person that you are. Thank you from the heart, man. Thank you from Sydney, from Australia, for your fans, for everybody here in this big country. We're all behind you, man. Everybody in Greece as well, I'm sure. Big fans of Ferocious coming through for the belts. And I hope you bring these belts home, man, and so much pride and respect with everything that you got going. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, bro.
My pleasure to be on to chat with you guys, to give everyone a little bit more of an insight of
Thank you, man.
What's happened in my career, the way I've made my way to where I am today.
Yes.
And my insights on mentally and physically I am right now. And, just good to chat. Got a lot of support worldwide, and I appreciate all the support.
Thank you, George.
See your great sponsor, Crash Claim.
Yes,
Nick,
man.
Who's backing me as well. He's a major sponsor.
Yes.
In my world title fight, which is a great man to have behind me, and
sure.
we got some great people behind me.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to shocking the world and bringing them belts back home. And next time we do the podcast, we'll be sitting.
Yes,
I'll be sitting there with you across from me, and I have all the belts.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. For sure.
Yeah. Looking forward to that, brother. And also, when you've won the title, you can tell the world how a big part of your win was the track that I made for you.
Definitely, man. Pushing me on it. I think you've done a hell of a track there. I sent it to a few friends. I love that, man. The company as
Yeah,
well. So
yeah.
it's
Something
going to
else
be good.
we can check out soon, my brother. Man, God bless you, brother.
100%.
Sending you all the strength, and again, bro, all the love and respect, and eternally thankful for today. And I'll be watching with all the boys the fight, as well as
Definitely.
many people, I'm sure. They can watch it on Triller, right? On
Yeah, look, it's going to be obviously on the Trill app, Fight
yeah,
TV app, and obviously there will be Australian broadcasting. They're working out the door, but
sure,
obviously most likely Fox Sports Main Event TV is going to have it.
beautiful.
But you can see it everywhere, man. It's going to be everywhere.
All right, my man.
This is going to be viewed worldwide,
Oh,
millions of people watching, and
sure, man.
it's going to be huge.
Yeah,
So
and I was checking out the undercard is pretty strong as well. We've got some ladies on there doing their thing as well, a couple of champs and everything. So it's shaping up to be an awesome event, man. So looking forward
yeah,
to that.
it's a hell of an event, and we're going to have some fantastic musicians and big entertainers here
Yes,
in America. So it's
that's
going to be great, man. I can't wait, and
that's another
we get the
thing.
job done.
I was telling some of the guys, because it's Triller, we should be expecting a bit more of a concert type thing, like a festival, right? So
Oh no,
yeah,
they're gonna push it, as boxing,
yeah,
but they're also gonna have the music events and just
yeah,
make it
yeah,
a
yeah,
whole big event, and
yeah,
it's gonna be awesome, man. For the
yeah.
spectators, they're gonna love it. It's
Mm,
gonna be non-stop, boxing music. They're gonna have a great time. The world's gonna have a great time watching on the broadcast, and June 19th, I'm gonna have a great time, kicking Lopez's ass and taking all his belts
my
and
man.
leave him with nothing.
Go get him, George, man. Thank you so much again, my brother. Exciting times ahead for you. Exciting times for boxing, for Australian boxing, and for the Spartan warrior, Ferocious George Kambosos. Thank you so much, man. God bless.
No doubt. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Go get him, my brother. Thank you, man.
Champion, brother.
See you, man.
All right,
See you,
man.
George.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
man.
bro.
Great to chat. All right, bro.
Likewise.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Rafa. Hit that like button, subscribe, whichever one that is, whatever it is. Please follow us. Please you support, share, tell your friends, like, subscribe, hit that button, please. Thank you so much.
Expansion